Greetings. All right, thank you for joining us. Okay, so are aliens or UFOs are humans from the future? I think I wrote that out right. Humans. Yeah. So some of that went into I think Steven Spielberg said something about that. So tap into some of that, and that is with the a lot of these alien groups are definitely from the future, like a future version of us. It's all from an alternative Earth, you can say. This Earth at this rate, it's gonna be a long time. I know people want this 5D and all of that, but get ready for some disappointment. When you do 5D for yourself, the world itself isn't going to be. It's going to be a long time. I mean, it might go to like a low vibration third dimension. I mean, fifth dimension. Yeah, it's a mix of third and whatever. Believe whatever you want to believe. But some people currently are in fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension just on their own. They don't need the world to shift. Of course, being here is not easy because the world's so slow. It feels like that's their challenge. But as for the world to speed up to your level, good luck with that. The spiritual community tearing itself apart. Living in fantasy land, many of them are. So you create your own reality. You're seeing that. And they still, because that's the thing. When you leave this world, someone realized, like, wow, look all the belief systems I created just so I can keep my sanity on Earth. And some of those are spiritual inventions. There's one way of doing it where, you created it just to keep your sanity. That's one thing. But when you created it as like a diversion, as like, secret space programs, one way of looking at it. Some create that just for whatever reason they need it for. And there's other ways of looking at it too, but you'd be surprised how much is actually invented. It just to cope with life, just to handle life itself. So it's like sometimes it's better. That's why you have television, all that. But then for some, that's just not good enough. So you have to create some other reality, connect to a past life that's over a couple of thousand years old. And there might be some truth to some of it in the secret space, but they're just kind of obsessing over it. It's like looking at the good times in your life, like in your 20s, or so you're looking in your spiritual past. Everybody has their phases. And then there's infighting within the spiritual community, which is humorous. It's like, so how are you going to get to this fifth dimension if there's infighting within the spiritual community? Just because there isn't going to be a fifth dimension. Well, there will be individually, but for the world, it's going to take some time. So it's a lot of growing up still has to be done here. Also, the Zeta Grays, year 3000. So. Or beyond that, there are definitely Zetas that even if you call them fake or real or whatever it is, there's definitely Zetas from an alternative Earth that they kind of destroy themselves, and you hear different stories of that. Or just us as humans just evolved into a Zeta form because we didn't feel like we needed this anymore. It doesn't mean that our timeline's going towards that. That makes the fifth dimension look even better, doesn't it? And then you have to hopefully don't have to worry about your skin problems because everybody looks like they've been in the sun too long. But the Zeta, there's different ways of looking at the Zetas, but there are Zeta planets where they ruin their planet, their worlds, not just a version of Earth, but their own worlds when they're doing technologies and they're just experimenting, and they just take it to a whole nother level. And you can say they were a version of human, like when sectoid energies, you can go on and on with that, but I don't want nobody's perfect. And then we connect to other creators. Of course, there's different versions of that. Anybody can say they're a creator. but we're just connected to a version of the creators of uh, of this world. So, but just or yeah, I gotta say it's always we're in the multiverse, the multi Earth, the multi timelines. Like there's always different versions of our origins. Just pick one. Well, because some people come here from a reality where you did come from apes, and then there's others that came here as a reptilian being, and then connected. I mean, I think we all have our own little stories out there, and none of it really connects, but it's just all part of being in chaos, planet chaos. Just connect to the reality that works for you. How about that? But as for UFOs from the future, definitely, there's definitely some of that energy out there for sure. I mean, people here currently can kind of remember the future, or is a version. Right now, of course, we focus too much on that. You're not focusing on yourself. It's all just. But if you can feel it within yourself, there's definitely a connection there. The multiverse, the clone realities, the flat Earth. Yeah. Oh well, the flat Earth. Yeah, there's definitely a flat Earth out there for sure. You can say it's been weaponized a little bit to over push it. Well, it's not so much big anymore, but it was for a time. It almost felt like the flat Earth was the better Earth, and maybe it is. I'm not sure about that though. But there's definitely it doesn't mean like our world is that, but there's definitely those people here. Of course, it does have flat Earth energy here. Parts of the Earth feel like it's flat, so that's where it just adds to the confusion. We're just a little bit of everything, aren't we? Well, because those of us that incarnate, so many different souls incarnate, so you bring all these different versions of Earth here, and so it all gets kind of as we because even the higher dimensions is confusing there too. But you just have a little bit more of an understanding of it, sort of. I don't think they have it all figured out, even in the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension. There's mysteries at all levels, at all realities. So at least in reincarnated realities, there is the spirit realms, but the spirit realm is kind of like away from the reincarnation lifetimes. The astral realm. I can't say it's all the same, but there's different areas. Like there's a place in the spirit where you have all the knowledge, you have everything, but it doesn't always transfer when you incarnate. Because when you incarnate, that's where you grow. You can't grow in certain parts of the spirit, not really. Okay, to the spirit guides, it's really showing they're not growing. It really shows. Yeah, I think the spirit guides. So people think that it's like a celebrity. Oh wow, it's a celebrity. It's great. It's the same thing with the spirit world. Oh, it's the spirit realm. This should be okay. They're just as messed up as we are here, just in a different way. So that's why we come here to figure all that out to some level, or not figure anything out. Then maybe that's the best way to go about it. It's time to talk to common private sessions and schedule. We have the shop here. It was a webinar, I think tomorrow, social network behind the scenes. Yeah, we're in the middle of March. Kind of in the middle of March Madness. I'm not sure if the timeline is going to open itself up, like where things are going in the middle of the month. It might. It's not making. If it is, it's not showing itself. But we're not quite in the middle of March yet to see how it's not clear. Nothing's clear right now. So, all right, connect to the UFOs of the future, the aliens of the future, and then go to the Zetas of the future, and then go to the creators. So, all right, blessings. Greetings. We have the Pleiadians, Syrians, Arturians, Lyrans. If you want to So we're all here, not at once. Well, not speaking all at once. You say as a collective energy. You can take this with for wherever you want. But the feline is one of the stronger beings that are here. Woman more prominent frequencies that are here. Yes, there's Syrian. Well, it's just that we're the ones who help create your genetic makeup. We added to your what you already had. Human was already here before we showed up, but we added also to your experience, your bone structures, and all of that. Some are disconnected spirituals, you can't always see it. Not to say that we're pushing the cat agendas or anything like that, but some of you agree the cat frequencies is heavy here, depending on what you tap into. So the cat beings, yes, we have our own problems, and so alien beings with problems can sometimes understand what you're going through, not always, because in your world seems to take a problem and take it to a whole new level. You've been doing that a lot here recently. You've been doing that here for a long time, but it seems like it's gotten more complex. What is humanity is hard on itself, as you can see. Not everyone is, but there's a lot of that going on. It's just individually, of course, many of you want to expand, grow, let the truth come out, and obviously you're being muzzled and stopped. Some of that has to do with a reptilian frequency of basically some not all alien beings agree either. There's a lot of councils here. As you see the Council of Nine. There's all these different beings that is still infighting, nothing like your planet, but there's still kind of rules. Like a feline being wants to bring in more deeper insight, truth for your society, and then a reptilian being will say no. And that's part of the council, not to be negative, but it's like humanity has not evolved enough to receive that information. Enough has been given to humanity and still trying to figure it out what it has. And of course, we're not going to go into details of what that is. That's for you to decide. Of course, some will lash out and humanity wants more. As you can see, there's still a lot of soul healing going on. So, yes, many humans are holding on to the drama of their incarnation cycles. Well, the drama is what brought them here, meaning that, or trauma, it's all about the same. The past life trauma, the secret space program or the alien program, lifetimes, when you get pulled out of your body and manipulated, put back into your body, and you're not the same. You add artificial intelligence to you, and it just or humans are being cloned in different realities. And that you can feel yourself being cloned, and you can feel the consciousness of those clones and how lost they are, which causes difficulty. Like one way to attack a person, obviously, you don't have that technology here personally, but the one way to get at your enemy is to clone them and then confuse the clone, because it's a part of your DNA. So if your DNA from somewhere else is being manipulated, it hits you, and all of a sudden you get kind of lost. And it's a slow burn, but it does work. So you wonder why some of this is not brought to you here for obvious reasons. Why it's not mentioned. First of all, what are you going to do with it? And it can be quite heavy. Does it pertain to your everyday life here? No. That's another reason why it's not brought. It's basically, we bring our energies here. Yes, there might be a general message. And that general message is basically focus on yourself. Remove that wound, or to remove that blockage, so you can finally go forward. Of course, the wound can take years. It can take 10 years to heal an energy wound from past life or this life or whatever it might be, or not, it doesn't heal at all. It's basically you're healing it to a certain level, but hasn't fully healed. And if you can incarnate here and just be a powerful empath and just feel everybody's problems, which many of you are going through also, and how to manage that. That's been one of the toughest incarnations also, because you feel like this isn't your stuff, and it probably isn't. Or you bring in your family line, you're carrying around their energies, which feels like it's a truckload. So, and even those that have a powerful manifesting ability, doesn't mean they always manifest the best, the best thing, for their highest good. Some of you wanted to manifest, but it's like sometimes it's like you get what you need, and because sometimes manifesting can really derail you if it's done improperly. Obviously, many here feel like they're not going to do that, but how do you know you have not done that in the past? Some have, not everybody. So energies from the UFOs, from the future. Well, we have not learned either. I mean, we have and we have not. If there's an aspect of us here in your reality, we're still answering questions, yes, with no answers. There's a reason for even your aliens to be here. They have, soul searching also. They're not the only ones. They're not always going to reveal it. If you ask them what you're here to heal, they might not even know. They just know that they're here, just like you. They're more fourth dimensional. So, of course, if you connect to the psychedelics, your mushrooms, or different drugs, and you see that some of the aliens have their issues. Not all of them, but there's quite a few that do. They're more psychotic than a human, yes. We said a fourth dimension. It was like you have a being that's more psychotic than a human. From your world, at least you can see it coming. Well, not always, but at least you get, it can be more complicated there. Greetings, we are the Zeta Grays. Send you energies, blessings. There are Zetas that are going through timeline loops where they go through worlds of catastrophe. And some of you are here. Well, some Zetas help other Zetas. So they wonder why some autistic children incarnate here. A lot of them are here to heal their own families, their own Zeta families. Yes, they might come here a little bit sooner than they should have, meaning because their vocals are not well developed, where they can speak, but they come here anyway because they know it's like they incarnate here on a panic. And it's not always, it's just that, there's obviously reptilian beings that have taken over a lot of the gang stalkings, the politicians. They just know what they're doing. They could be lost, but they can do it. They have the power to do so. So they use it while they can before they lose those abilities. So, this world has a lot of weaknesses. So it can be infiltrated so easily. And humanity is not quite at the level to address these things. Some of you are spiritually, but the numbers are extremely small. Even the Zetas, a lot of spiritual people can't stand the Zetas. Hate them. Like cockroaches. And they might be right. But we're here for a reason. We don't always know why we're here. But there are Zetas that just take it to another level. Yes, destroy their own versions of Earth. There's several of those. And even a dire warning to your world planet, because you can see that timeline, atomic energy. So it brought the Zeta timeline even stronger here. Not to say Zetas are trying to destroy the world, no. But there is, you see the energy, the World War III frequency. You say World War III and World War II, mostly World War III brought in like the more Zeta type of beings. The form, the title of a Zeta Gray came from World War III. Not everybody will agree with that, but it doesn't really matter. There's so many different points of view here. and you can't make them all happy. You just can't. There's always going to be someone that's going to look at it from the opposite point of view. There are worlds where you can all see things equally to a certain level. This world is not one of them. There's always, and what just shows how diverse it is. And some of you are time travelers. Some of you know how to stop time, know how to alter timelines. Sometimes you're so convoluted, just get so lost within reality. So you don't know what planet you're even on half the time. Sometimes they feel like they're on a flat Earth because they might be on your planet, but their consciousness is on a flat Earth. So technically, they are on a flat Earth because they're extremely multidimensional. Yeah, they zapped out of this reality. they left. They're here physically, but spiritually they're somewhere else. As some of you are connected to the secret space program, and you can't leave. Some are addicted to it. You're addicted to all of that chaos. Well, they haven't got out of their system yet. And others of you are here. Yes, you're because the SSP can be like a kite flying in the sky. Some of you are on the ground, just waiting for people to clear that out. Because the real war is here. And basically, as a collective consciousness, you're to open up more of the fourth dimensional, gateways, so you can see more what's here. Yeah, see an alien invasion in another reality. Doesn't mean it has to happen on yours. Of course, some are kind of trying. They don't know what they're doing right now. We don't see an alien. I mean, you have alien invasions already through your technology, through the people that are here. They're protesting about nothing or just causing chaos because they haven't healed themselves. There's a lot of straggling beings here that just lost themselves in astral, and they still haven't found themselves here. And they probably never will. They'll just continue to be lost. And they're not about to open up and just, oh, by the way, I'm an astral being. I'm lost. Can you help me? No, I don't want that. So this is like a twisted version of astral. It's just in the physical form. There's versions of help. There's also versions of a positive. There's versions of everything here. It's like an astral planet or a physical planet. Just doesn't get enough love, you can say. And so even if it did, it wouldn't know how to receive it, as some of you have been through yourselves. And it has to do with trauma connections. Blessings. Greens. We are the creators. A version of creator. Some of us are Anunnaki. A lot of us are beings that don't want to share our connections. Well, we can say some of us come from Gemini, it's just star systems that are not that well known here. Came here as a thought, a human race, yes, from unnamed star systems. Human races that took their world, their planets to a whole nother level of manipulations. So basically, your world is used to this. You're human that you are. Of course, many feel like the human was created here, and technically it was, but there's also humans just like you from other galaxies that have tested their planet, really pushed their worlds to the brink. And they're human just like you, but you see how the challenging, how humanity challenges itself so in depth. It's why to do that is to, instead of having the easy life, why not make it hard? It's like, why not go in deeper? It might be convoluted. It might not make a whole lot of sense, but that's the point. It's like create a black hole in your mind to undermine the reality. Like you're in a perfect society. Can you find a way to reverse it? Or if you're in a world that is non-perfect, that's like tearing itself apart, can you make it lighter? And there is worlds like that where it has been accomplished. Your planet is learning how to do that. It's still learning its dark side. So think of like if you're on a human planet somewhere out in the galaxy, just like human that you are now, and you might live in a perfect society, but what if you want to add to it, like do more with it? Yes, be more creative, but then you end up being part of its downfall, depending on what it is, which has happened. Some of you might end up actually remembering that. Not to put, you know, put a spotlight on you or anything like that. No. But there are souls like that here. I mean, it's like being a kid in school, the bad kid. It doesn't always be seen as that, but it's one that really challenges everybody. Not necessarily you're a lower dimensional being. It's just that you're one that knows how to break a reality, to step out of it. And there's different words you can use for that. But you have them here, as you can see. Yes, you're trying to make things nice with your family, and then this child's born into it and just wrecks everything. So beings have learned how to do that. You can say it's kind of like a trickster energy, but they know how to tap into those realms. Doesn't mean it's a trickster being. So it's like there's always going to be, they just learn from the best how to manipulate reality. It's not necessarily from their benefit. It's just to go against the narrative. So this is constantly happening here, as you can see. So basically, come here to identify that. However you want to label it, there's different words for it. Of we'll just leave you with that.